Welcome to the Hall of Fame podcast, your local source for the 2024 Phillies season, where you get hot takes from even bigger idiots than you find on local media. And now your idiots, I mean hosts, Chris Buzzy Lahiff, Jeremy J.V. Vroman, and Keith Darth Pooh Newman.
Good evening. It's November 20th, 2024. What are we doing? It's the off season. But wait, it's hot stove time. Tonight we chat about Bohm on the block, postseason awards, Soto, and more rumors than season 3, episode 5 of The Real Housewives of Who the Hell Cares What City. All tonight on the Hall of Fame Club podcast on our new home with Olde City Sports. Gentlemen, how we doing?
Living the dream. New home. Feels good.
Since baseball ended?
We were talking about like what are some of the biggest disappointments of like your 2024 year, and I was like, Red October. Red October was, so it still hurts. It still feels bad. Talking trade doesn't feel good. Falling flat on our face in the second round and just still hurts, man. Still hurts. What about you, Chris? How you feeling, man? Are you over it?
I've been over it since the Grand Slam. Like, I was in Canada and I was like, hey, it is. I was at the Canada. I was in dinner with, the team in Canada, and they had that on, and they had on Hockey Night in America. Well, not in America, Hockey Night in North America. And I was like, just turn off the Phillies game. Because I turned around and I called the Grand Slam. I was like, he's going to hit it. He's going to hit a home run right here. My boss is like, no, he's not. And, Estevez throws a friggin' 99 mile. I don't even know if it was 99 mile an hour. But he threw, down the middle of the plate. Like, baseball players are going to hit it. So, listen, I'm a Philadelphia sports fan. You can't hurt me. You can't.
Well, so the World Series was kind of like a
This is all right. So this is what I'll say about the World Series. It irritates me because any team in the National League, excuse my French, would have shit all over the Yankees. Absolutely shit all over the Yankees.
Yeah,
the
Mets
Yankees
included.
were probably,
I want to say Mets included.
Mets might have swept them just out of pure spite because just because it was the other New York team. But it just irritated me that the Yankees were such an overrated team. And I get annoyed because, you get into debates with people on social media about how Aaron Boone's this great manager and that Rob Thompson is a terrible manager because of his moves. Aaron Boone brought in a guy who hasn't pitched in 35 days. He brought in a guy who hasn't pitched in 35 days against a guy who was batting like .417 with 6 home runs and like 32 RBIs in his last 35 plate appearances against a left-handed pitcher.
Yeah, the stats on that inning is insane.
It was the worst managerial decision I've ever seen, and that is including Rob Thompson taking Zach Wheeler out of Game 6 up 2-1 and bringing in Jose Alvarado.
Oh,
it was hands down, and it wasn't even like it was one of those home runs that barely went out. It was gone. It was 110 mile an hour piss missile off of Freddie Freeman's bat. The perfect way to describe it. There's no other way.
Yeah, and Freddie was like, looking for MVP status. He's trying to. I think he's one of the most well liked Braves players. That kind of everyone liked him while he was still on the team. Do you know what I mean? Everyone's like, yeah, fuck the Braves. They're terrible. No, I like Freddie. Freddie's all right. You know what I mean? Like, he always kind of even had that kind of vibe about him, which was wild to me. Like, we always saw a baseball player in him, and I think everyone saw that.
Freddie's our older version of Chipper Jones.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. He was the new version of Chipper.
Right. He was 20 years. Chipper Jones was our 20s. Freddie Freeman was our 40s.
Yeah. You're gonna hassle him on the field. You're gonna Larry him. You're gonna Freddie him. But what you're really saying is, why won't you wear red and white pinstripes? Like, and so there's that. Like, I think there's that. I think we had that for McGriff at some point, or not. There was a couple of Braves pitchers that I think that we kind of had some some respect for. Like, I know everyone
have respect for the big three pitchers in Atlanta in the 90s.
Small,
then
right?
You just need to give up baseball, like, get away.
It doesn't mean we didn't. It did it right, but it doesn't mean we still didn't, boo them. But at the same time,
they're still the enemy. But
right, the boos were like,
who are the big three? I just want to see who are the big three.
Maddox, Smoltz, and oh my God, his lefty. His name always loses my brain. Glavine.
Don't you ever besmirch Steve Avery ever again.
Stop it.
Steve Avery.
Don't you besmirch the Steve Avery name ever again.
Stop it.
Next
you're going to tell me John Rocker's a Hall of Famer.
Oh, God.
I'm just not going to ask them to watch my kids.
So we obviously, I think we needed to check this box off right now. And I think it's the easiest thing to do because I think only big checkbooks should, and we're a big checkbook team, right? I think only big checkbook teams should be talking about this guy. And it's going to end up being the big question mark. And I want to get your feeling on whether you guys think it'll be before the new year or after the new year we hear Juan Soto signs. And I'm not saying with the Phillies. We would all love that for Juan Soto to come back and meet up with Bryce and meet up with K-Long and meet up with
I don't want to meet K-Long.
Trey. No, listen, Soto talks lovely about Kevin Long. Like, he can't say enough nice things about him. Like, he has talked about him before. I don't think that's enough for him to be like he wants to come to Philly. I think the fact that John Middleton can open up his checkbook like the big boys can and is willing to go into the third tier of luxury tax says a lot more to Juan Soto getting maybe, if not better contract than Ohtani, at least the second best contract in baseball. So, right, let's check the Soto checkbox now. Okay. Well, when do you guys think he's going to sign? Prior to the new year or after the new year?
I think it's going to be before, because that list is so short. You really have the teams that could sign him.
Let's do it.
Not talking about
Dodgers.
Just could. The Dodgers, the Yankees, the Phillies, the Mets have been known to throw some money around when they need to.
The Red Sox.
Apparently, the Astros have some money to put out there. So it's a short list.
If you go on social media on Twitter, apparently the Mets their media. Oh, we're signing Juan Soto. It's no one else has a shot because we're the best. We're the up and coming team. Yeah, that's not how this goes. Listen,
right.
Juan
Ask the
Soto.
Yankees how that worked with Cliff Lee.
Right. So Juan Soto is going to go where I think he's comfortable. I think he's going to stay in the East Coast. I think if I had to right now, I think it would be between, and I'm just spitballing here, between the Phillies and the Red Sox. Now, with that being said, I also agree with Jeremy. I think a contract has to come in the coming weeks. What can be offered, this and that, because Ohtani signed on December 11th last year. If Juan Soto signs with any of these two Northeast teams, the jersey sales for Christmas are going to be outrageous. And that is, as crazy as it sounds, signing him and then having that holiday, it's going to be huge for the market. It's going to be huge for that team. You know, if you did the numbers.
Well, if memory serves, when did Harper sign? He signed late. I want to say he signed late into March. Yeah, late. I remember going like, holy, I mean, it came out of nowhere, but we were still expecting it. So I was going to split the difference and say he would probably sign by Valentine's Day, or, you know, somewhere in the window of President's Day and Valentine's Day. So like a 2-week window there, right? You think early, huh? Like before even New Year's.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Wow.
And just because the lists are so short, like he doesn't, like I'm pretty sure he's met with all the teams. So now it's just a matter of getting how much his agent is able to talk with each team to get the contract that he wants.
And like I said, Ohtani set the record for the fastest jersey selling from December 11th to the end of 2023, which was 21 days. So, you know, Fanatics is waiting.
Yeah. Well,
they're waiting.
Of course they're waiting. I don't know if that's driving. So like, I kind of agree with you. The list is short. So let's just say out of the 30 teams, it's 5. So you got a 6 of the teams looking at you that could be serious with money. But the problem is now you've got 6 teams. Let's just whittle it down to 4 that are real contenders. And I'm not going to say whichever ones, but those negotiations for those 4, I think, are going to be tight, where it may drag on like, oh, I'm getting this. What do you got for me? And they're like, no, we got this for you. Now, eventually a team's going to be like, that's too much. But I think if they're being serious, they're going to hang in there and do the dance and try to one up the other teams.
Listen, I don't know anything about the other owners other than the Dodgers owner, but I know John Middleton has a lot of respect from Major League Baseball. A lot of players respect him. All that guy wants to do is win.
Yeah,
and I hate to bring it up, but the Pirates, they want that owner sold. They want him to sell. The Marlins, like there's owners out there that Major League Baseball and its fans don't respect. But Middleton has a lot of respect in this league by players, and I'm telling you, this one stung. So don't be surprised if they end up with Bregman and Soto. Now, if they don't get Soto, they have to get Bregman. There's no other there's no other thing to say. Like, and I like Alec Bohm. I do like Alec Bohm. Like, listen, he's still 27 years old. He gets in his feelings. It is what it is. Listen, I don't know. Like, after seeing him, he bounced back from 2022 from IF and Hate This Place. And then from 2022, in 2023, he went on the downslide. And we all saw 2024. He had a great first half. He got injured, and then he was pressing when he got healthy again. And I don't know if he needs to see a psychiatrist, because baseball, 90% of it is mental. If your head isn't fair, you're not going to be a good baseball player. And I don't know if he needs to change his scenery. I don't think he does.
Yeah.
But if you have a chance to get Alec Bregman, who's only 30 years old, and Alec Boehm's 27, about to be 28, you say it.
I mean, Arenado should be in the conversation, right? Like, I don't want anyone to think that we're not talking about that. Like, he's, you know, I kind of wanted to shore up, you know, what you guys think the chances of before we get into Boehm, because I think Boehm is the one, right? Boehm is the one that we're really discussing as being like, oh wow, he went from being the guy to having almost slated to have over 100 RBIs in the season to fizzling out at the end, and then him showing his frustration on the field. You call that it is what it is. I call that a problem. I take an issue with it. I don't know what you're doing. Stop showing that shit on the field. I don't appreciate it. I'm here to watch a grown man play baseball, not a guy to have a hissy fit. You're still getting paid millions of dollars to go out there and do it. If you're not doing it well, that's fine. I don't want to see you wah about it. I just don't. I don't know why. It's your fault. Like you're the pitcher. You're the batter. You're the problem. It's you. And I don't want to see you crying about it.
It's you, me. I'm the No, okay. Sorry.
No. My thing is this: like you're saying he's whining about it, but what's your definition between whining and I don't know, like what Harper has been seen to do, where he has slammed bats and throws his helmet, and there's times Harper's walked off the field looking ejected. But I'm saying, what's the line? Where's that line?
Moping in the dugout because your team is up 14-3. Everybody on the team is hit except you, and Harper's consoling you in the dugout and I get it. Your parents are there. Like I get it. Your parents are there. You want to do good for them. But abso-friggin-lutely not. Absolutely
it's. Not. I don't want to see that pouty stuff. It has
now. If his mind is straight and he's seen a psychologist, and his head's back on, I'm fine with him being a Philly. I'm fine with it. But the first sign of you're out, like I'll trade you for a box of Legos.
Yeah, one of the interesting moves there was made in the offs in just this past week or two. We actually firmed up. There's a rule 5, right, where you're basically protecting your prospects, your pitching prospects, and things like that from basically being poached. And the Phillies did it on 3 players that I'm actually kind of shocked on. Let's be honest, we have a farm team that's just finally getting, within the last 5 years, really productive. We're very excited about people like Bryson Stott coming out of there and all those. Of course, we have Andrew Painter and Crawford, but here are the 3, the last and this that they just moved to make. It's a 40-man roster protection move from the draft. So this is something I just learned about. There's the rule 5 in the draft it's like unprotected prospects can be drafted if they are not right. And this is wild to me. Like I just found out about this, but we added Moises Chase, which is the guy we got from Baltimore for Soto. Mick Abel, which I'm not shocked about at all, and Gene Cabrera, I'm actually shocked on. Abel's the highest ranked, I think, out of all of the prospects. I think he's listed at 7 or 8 there, which right? That makes sense to protect your highest ranked prospect. What do you guys think about giving Chase and Cabrera this protection. I think you're allowed to do it up to 5 players. Is that correct? Before Rule 5 is enacted?
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure on that, but I know with the rule, if you select a guy, he has to stay on your major league roster and
Your
has
40
to be
man.
up for the big club. No, he has to be in the bigs.
The
He cannot be in
26?
AAA. He has to be on the 26. So if you decide to outright him down or send him down to the minors,
Yeah.
they have to be offered back to their original team at some ridiculously cheap price. So this move tells me that the Phillies believe that those 3 players are at least borderline big league players. They're AAA to the majors, somewhere in there, and they don't want to lose them because they believe somebody will take them and keep them on their roster. Even if they just sit in the bullpen and don't move, and all they do is throw batting practice, they will still be on those rosters, and then you lose them for good. Now, I do believe you get compensation picks if somebody gets picked off your team in the Rule 5. So you can replace that player as well. But because I believe that's how the Phillies got Victorino originally, was through the Rule 5.
I was just going to say, who was on the 2008 Phillies team that was a Rule 5 pick? And he was picked in 06, I believe. And, he just stuck around. He was, either 05 or 06, whatever year he was there, he was used as a pinch runner in a lot of late game situations. So it's, that's why he was kept on the roster. He was kept, and he was defensive replacement. Now, those 3 players are not going to see the field. Maybe Mick Abel. Maybe.
Abel did terrible in AAA last season, I think. I don't think – I think he had maybe a trio of wins. I don't know. We got to see a little bit of him last season too, didn't we?
I think it was in just in the spring. I don't think
in spring, right? We got to see a little bit of him in spring. So I'm not like it's not like I know. I think we even said this time, April last year. Who the hell is Mick Abel? But the one I'm most interested about is Chase is the one with from Baltimore because. I think he's a young kid, and I think there's like a chance there for him to be developed, and I'm hoping that's the case. You're gonna have you've got free agency with Hoffman and Estevez, so that's obviously going to be an issue. You're losing there. There is a little chitter chatter about getting Sonny Gray from the Cardinals. So
I get what you're saying about Mick Abel being terrible in the minors, but the minors are a different animal.
I hear that often. I hear so many people say that.
And listen, Christopher Sanchez had almost a 5 ERA. It was like 4.66. And he's probably our number 3. And I'm going to throw a little wrench in this because we didn't even talk about it. Ranger Suarez is probably getting traded. Because Andrew Painter is lighting up the fall league.
Listen, if his Tommy John does what it's supposed to do, and they've perfected the surgery, apparently. It's not like the hack job that it used to be, and it used to cause problems. They literally know how to reattach it in such a way. Great. Like that really takes a load off of worrying about what you're doing with a 4-man rotation. It introduces a 5-man rotation. I love the idea of it. I don't mind Sonny Gray to our rotation. I pitched this. What if I posited this deal to you guys? take it or leave it. What do? Bohm straight up to the Cards for Sonny Gray and Arenado. You take that deal?
I mean, I think you're kind of robbing them a little bit. So yeah,
I don't know if you're. How are you robbing him? Sonny Gray's 35 years old.
Yeah,
and
I'm giving
Arenado is
age for
33
youth
years
here.
old.
I'm doing age for
established
youth.
pitching. I'll take established pitching, especially with the struggles they had as an overall staff. The starters were good. Don't get me wrong. But overall, I think you need to look more at the bullpen than you need to look at starters.
They're not going to be up and coming. They're not going to be a good team. That's why they're looking to trade Arenado. If they were going to be a good team, Arenado wouldn't be on the block. But you're getting a 35-year-old pitcher with some miles on his arm. You know, he had almost a 4.00. His ERA was 3.84, which, 36 years old, I think Sanchez's ERA was better.
This is where I'm almost I know everyone's Soto happy and but I'm with you, Fuzz. I would be happy with doing that straight up, that age and talent, right? Get Sonny, get Arenado, go after Bregman, right? Put money where it kind of can be conducive to building up the team with depth and experience. I think that's a better angle than going after the Soto, right? I don't think Soto puts more on the scale than the sum of the parts of all of the things you can add to the team. But if you lock in Soto, you're locking up the majority of your money. You have to be a wizard with moves here.
Listen, if we can get him on an Ohtani contract where he defers money, which, that Ohtani contract may be what the future is in baseball. A lot of these teams, I think, are going to try to defer money so you can try to win now and keep winning and spend that money and, the future be damned. But I don't know. I think he adds that much to your lineup that you could hide a Bohm back down towards the bottom and he can hit in that 7 or 8 spot and not hurt the team when he's pressing. And if he happens to get hot, it's a great spot to get hot from.
But you're going to hide him down in the 7-8 spot when our number 9 hitter absolutely.
You're already hiding Rojas. Thank you. You're already hiding Rojas.
Who shouldn't be. I am off the Rojas train. I'm off of it. I got off. I left my ticket. I left the return ticket there.
I love his defense, dude. I love his defense. I know
he plays good defense because he misplays every single ball.
You teach him how to bunt. And you get Schwarber out of the leadoff, and you're started. I looked at some stat. If Schwarber wasn't in the leadoff, he would have something projected to have 35 more RBIs this season.
All right, and if I had 2 good knees, I'd still be playing basketball every day. But that's not the way it is. Listen, Johan Rojas is 24 years old. How do you not know how to bunt? How do you not know how to bunt?
Man, look, you're repeating what I just said. The guy doesn't know how to bunt. I've said that time and time again. I just think that strengthening the corner with Arenado, he's not expensive. He's fairly cheap for what he is on his contract.
His contract is really friendly for the Gold Glove and RBI guy that he is. I don't know if he just got paid 21 or if he makes 21 this year, and then it's 14 and 16. It's a really friendly deal.
I think he's $23 million a year or something.
Go to Spot Track, Jeremy. Pull it up. I want to say I don't know if he got paid 21 in 24 or if that's what he's making in 25. But after that, it's 17. It's anywhere from 13 to 17.
So he got paid out I thought he had I thought his contract was very similar to Castellanos. So, like I said, I think for a third base, like you've already named it, he's an all-star third baseman.
Ooh.
He's
So 2025 he gets 21 million, which
He
is
is
down
due
from
a
24. And then 26 and 27, he gets a combined 31 million. So it's
And
16
then-
and 15 in order for the next for 26 and 27, and then becomes unrestricted in 28.
hold on, and then he gets deferred money until 2041 of $3 million.
so what is that, like 75 million? Yeah, it's like $75 million then. Till until when? 2041? 3 million?
Yeah, but that's not
So
out. That wouldn't be the Phillies, that would be the Cardinals.
21, 31, and then 73 million dollars is what his contract is. Okay, cheap. And it's deferred. So like it's already built.
But we don't pay it. But we don't pay it.
I know, that's what I just said. It's literally built in to be a steal. Like so like taking that contract and paying maybe 40 cents on the dollar might actually, and then Bohm and taking Sonny Gray, like I think that's a really like it's smart. Now,
So it's basically a 3-year contract, $51 million a year for 3 years. You can get Arenado, and then you can afford. And like I said, if you get Sonny Gray, I don't know what his contract is. Pull that up, JV.
Yeah.
But then you can afford the Juan Soto, because you then you don't have to hide Arenado. You don't.
No.
No, listen, you're putting Arenado in a home run friendly park. He would eat here, dude. Oh, he would eat.
Sonny Gray, he's a little more expensive. He goes 25 million for 2025, then 26 it jumps to 35 million. And then you have a club option for 30 in 2027.
Okay.
Is he deferred contract? He got anything deferred?
I'm not seeing anything about deferred.
Not with 30 million. No way, dude. When did he get that contract? That seems like highway robbery.
And let's see.
And that's where
3 years, 75 million. So he would have signed it at the end of 2023.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That was about right when there was the big, everyone
no.
because we overpaid for what's his face at the same exact time.
All right,
Wheeler.
so hold on. So here's the thing.
I don't say his name anymore. I say what's his face.
We don't. Did you just say we
Taiwan.
overpaid for Wheeler?
No, Taiwan.
I don't say his name.
Yeah.
I think you trade Taiwan to St. Louis.
So Taiwan for Sonny. Taiwan so you combo deal it. Arenado and Sonny Gray, Taiwan Walker, and
why would you take that if you're the Cardinals?
Because
it's not like Taiwan's 23 and sucking. Like how old he's in his 30s and he sucks. So you're not getting younger, you're not improving your team.
Well, Cardinals have an issue right now with eating innings,
But here's the thing:
he wasn't in enough games to eat innings.
Well,
he was hurt all year,
right?
The last 2 years.
No, the year before he ate 170 or 60 innings or something. I'm talking about Taiwan.
No, if I'm the Cardinals, I'm not taking. If I'm anybody in MLB, I'm not taking Taiwan Walker in a trade. There's no reason to.
But you got to understand, if they're taking Taiwan Walker, they're saving $25 million.
And they can. I guarantee you, they can get the Phillies to eat on that contract. I guarantee you, they can get them to eat. And I'm not saying eating majority. I get you, but I can guarantee you 45 cents they can get them to eat, or maybe 35 cents. Why not?
Or you give them Rojas.
See, that one makes a little more sense. At least he's young.
No, but I'm saying if I'm giving you Rojas, you're taking Taiwan Walker. Fuck that.
So here's your deal. You're saying Rojas, Walker, Bohm, Arenado, and Sonny Gray.
Right, and you're more or less rebuilding somewhat of their farm system because you're getting 2 young guys. The Phillies are listen. I know people lost their minds. The window for the Phillies is closing because they lost in the NLDS. The window is not closing. They just they had a chance to win Game 4, and Diaz just threw 102-mile-an-hour fastball versus the guy we wanted up there.
Mm-hmm.
The window isn't closing. It's not. So everyone needs to just come down a little. Did it suck? Did it hurt? Yes, but come down a little. They're still a good baseball team.
Yep.
They got to know going. They got to know going to this season. JT has to catch 110 games. Listen, Arenado might be cooked. Everybody might be cooked. He's still a Gold Glove winning third baseman who's still got some pop behind him.
Did we get that up there? Kevin at iRock Philly saying Arenado might be cooked.
Listen, 2024, he still had he still scored 70 runs. He had 578 at bats. He hit 272, had an on base of 325. 70 runs, 71 RBIs. His slugging was 394 with 16 home runs.
Yeah, he had 150. He had 157 hits. I don't know where he's cooked that, Kevin.
I get
it.
His home run ball has really. He's 33. He's losing that out, but his slash line is still pretty solid. I think he's looking at a lifetime 272. Like that's I don't know, man. He doesn't strike out. 285.
280, on base 342, slug 515 lifetime. OPS 857.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah, sure, but the dude does not strike out. Like I think his career is under 20% for strikeout rate. It's got to be. Like he just I can Kevin, you're 100% right. I can compare him to what he used to be, but if I'm going to put him in like if I can get a package to kind of get rid of Alec Bohm and the kind of the mentality, the I don't need to see Harper coddling this guy. I don't. It's bothering me a little bit to say that we have been like kind of defending him for a little while. It was okay with the little hissy fit. I hate this effing place. And okay, man, we get it. But you keep showing me who you are. I need to move on. And to me, it's a no-brainer to start talking to the Cardinals because they need to make a couple of move pieces. I think Middleton can eat a lot of contract and still not feel bad about moving on from Taiwan Walker and make something happen, where everyone's happy. So you can compare him to what he used to be. He might, he's might have dwindled down. I just looked it up. He has. So
I'm going to give you quick stats.
2.5% home run rate. That's it's pretty low. He used to be a rocker.
But hold on. The Cardinals were 22nd in runs per game. They were 18th in runs and hits. And they were average. They were like 22nd. The Phillies were 5th, 14th, and 5th. You don't think he's not going to cook in this lineup? Oh, hey, well, listen, I'll tell you right now, Kevin. If all this goes out to listen, if I woke up tomorrow morning and Alex Bregman was a Philly, I'd be perfectly fine.
Yeah,
with that. Like, let's get that right out the door.
Yeah,
like,
tell me.
It was
tell
cool,
me
Sonny
more.
Gray.
Tell me more.
Sonny Gray.
And the beautiful part about that is, and I'm going to say, Bregman, I feel, is a better talent fit than Soto, and I know you guys probably think that's crazy.
So The only thing, and I'm gonna play devil's advocate,
Yep.
and you guys can murder me later.
No, I don't know if I don't know if I fully believe what I just said either.
Alex Bregman is in a really good lineup. Really, really friggin' good lineup. Like, so I'm not saying he could be. God, who was it in the 2000s that went bananas? Jeff Kent, because Barry Bonds was in that lineup.
Yeah,
He
because
goes
you
to
got
another
pitches.
team. He's going to see pitches. Bregman's going to see pitches because he's probably going to. Like, if you sign Bregman today, he's batting second. So now you have to pick your poison: Schwarber, Bregman, or Bryce. Or do you walk all three and hope you get the first half of Nick Castellanos of 2024?
Yeah, and like I said, I think Bregman.
Soto, and
I think Bregman gets served in this lineup. I just do. You can't pitch around everybody. You can't hide stuff. You can't be perfect on every pitch. And I think Bregman brings that. Now, does Soto also bring that? Yes, he does. And he's younger.
I told you. I think they get both. I'm going big. Big.
You're talking about $1.5 billion worth of contract.
And we're also talking about Bryce Stott was supposed to hit 30 home runs this year. So which take is worse?
All right. Fair enough. I mean, I'm not saying JV's a seer. I think he I don't think we all kind of heard it. Like I said 15 run streak and I knew that was ridiculous. I did. But he said Bryson Stott was going to get 30 home runs with confidence. And
he was like, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I'm glad Kevin brought this up because it's always going to come up. It'll come up for seasons. No. It doesn't matter. Do we think Schwarber is finally getting moved down in the batting order in 2025? Now, let's state the facts on the ground because this is going to be pretty important. And Kevin, chime in. We haven't had a change in any coaching staff that would affect that move, right? You haven't added anybody to the team that would be a better leadoff currently. And you're always going to get people that say 68% of the time, and that is the stat, 68% of the time, Schwarber is at leadoff, there's a win.
That number is insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
It makes zero. And listen, Kevin, it makes zero sense. I'm not gonna debate it. I'm not gonna fight it. I can't explain it. We can't explain it. It just like you said, you always want to start off a game winning 1-0, and that's a huge advantage. And how often is he going to come back up with the bases loaded? Yes. Does it suck that when he comes up, Bryce isn't going to be on, Trey's not going to be on, Nick's not going to be on? We don't know who the bottom of the lineup is. The only that's kind of where I get annoyed at with your love for Rojas, because you can throw that dude anything, it doesn't matter. He's swinging at it.
Here we go. I got something better for you guys. I don't think we're gonna get Sonny Gray. There's just too much money involved in that situation. Am I right about that, Jeremy?
That contract's ridiculous.
Okay. So how about this one? What's his face? He would end up being pretty much a rental because I think he's on his last year. Their reliever, Helsley, Ryan Helsley. I think he's a free agent next year, so it's technically a rental. Why would they not? Why couldn't we ask for that? I mean, there is a lack of high velocity in our bullpen. Let's be honest. There is a lack of it, and I think that he offers that, and I know it's a rental, but maybe you get him around the club and he enjoys it. I think that's a good one. And I think this is where, hey, Michael Dunbar nails it. Like if the Phillies don't have that 280, 300 guy, you have to lead him off. He works there, right? And I think the ultimate argument, and JV, you can back me up on this one. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm probably wrong. Statistically speaking, the leadoff batter isn't the most at bats, correct? It's usually, I think, the third batter. Is that right? It's a weird number. It's like the third or
I don't know that, but that's one of those weird stats that I
No, you're
never looked up,
the most you want your best hitter, your best contact hitter to be your number 3 hitter.
That's it. Okay, 3. Yeah, number 3. Yeah, okay. So like that's my point. Like, right, it's people put so much into this leadoff situation where he's the guy. He's not even your most contact guy. Like, you know what I mean? So I think there's a misconception because leadoff is the guy who starts the game off. He gets it. And I think Schwarber's kind of proven with he had a record number of leadoff home runs that he really knows how to kind of shell shock some pitchers. He knows how to read them. He gets a read. He comes back to the dugout and goes, hey, this is what I'm seeing already. And you want a guy who's got a good eye who can do that for your guys.
I mean, the Phillies had a 300 hitter, 280, 300 hitter, and they traded him to the Angels. Scott Kingery.
Hey, Michael, like
So
that was
here's my thing
supposed
with
to
that,
be Bryson Stott. It was supposed to be Bryson. Let's not bullshit anyone here. Bryson was working counts 2 years ago like a champ. He was taking guys 13 pitches, and then something happened. So like if Bryson learned how to work the count again, he would be the person you put in the leadoff. He's your number 1 Bryson Stott. If you had Bryson Stott from 2 years ago, you don't have Bryson Stott from 2 years ago. So that's Kyle. Like Kyle's the guy who can work, yeah, sure. He's going to get you strikeouts, but I wanted to clarify Bryson Stott should be the guy, but he's faltered out. What do you got for us, JV?
I don't care if you're taking pitches or not. My leadoff guy needs to get on base. That's all I care about because the guys behind him are supposed to be the guys driving in runs. So,
well, then you got Schwarber clogging up the base like Fred Flintstone.
He scored 106 runs.
I understand that. But if this is what you're arguing, and you're arguing that, and you want someone who can run bases.
The thing is, he doesn't need to be fast. If you got guys like Harper behind him who are smacking doubles and hitting them in the gaps, he's fast enough to get around and turn those into runs.
I'm just like I said.
I'm very much a Billy Bean mindset on this. Get on base.
This is to make Chris mad. Do they know you love Scott Kingery?
Mike Dunbar loves Scott Kingery. I'm over him.
He was conditionally released, right?
He got traded to the Los Angeles Angels for a signed picture of Mike Trout and Ohtani.
Hugging on their last day at the stadium. There's a lot to be, I think, said for what you're saying, JV, but like the argument that you're saying is like, yes, he scored 106. I'm not arguing that. I know what he did.
He got on base. That's what you need.
Oh,
that's what I want my guys to do.
And his walk count was awesome. He's gonna get strikeouts. He's a swinging guy. He's gonna do that. And he's gonna come back and say, hey, I messed up on this pitch and I saw this and I thought this was gonna. And like I said, that there's a lot to say for a guy doing that for you. I think it's actually underrated what he does for the team, and people see it as him being egotistical and taking that leadoff spot because he wants glory. I think he's the good man for the job. I do. I truly do.
I'll take 106 walks, getting on base, popping a home run, here and there, a little more than here and there, but I'll take it. Like, you don't need everybody as a lineup. You can run up pitches. You don't need a guy, your leadoff guy, to be the guy taking pitches. I'd rather see the number 9 hitter be the one that takes pitches and works and still gets out. Whatever. He still made the guy throw 10 pitches and at bat.
I got a question for both of you. Do you think, while I love the idea of Alex Bregman, because I think he is a very talented baseball player, do you think him being on the Astros for the last decade is going to be a hindrance to him coming to the Phillies, or would it help him? What do you think?
Honestly, I think stat-wise,
yeah,
it might help him a little bit. I would have to look it up. I don't know it off the top of my head, but how many line drives did he hit off that high wall in left field? I think the stadium's a little more conducive to him as a player, as a hitter. And as long as he's out there making plays at third base like he has been, the city's going to love him. So I don't think being in Houston is going to be what hurts him. I think, if anything, not that he's baseball old, but age is about the only thing that's really going to hurt him.
Yeah, well, of course, with age, you're going to get a drop off. And we just said this. We're going to get a drop off. I think he's at 2.5% home run rate now. His OPS has dropped off, obviously. But, I mean, he's still 28 outs above average in position. So he is definitely a hot corner guy. I love that idea. I don't. Here we go. Let's. We've talked about this all last season and maybe even amongst ourselves. We do believe that Trevor Bauer is blacklisted from baseball. Do we believe that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, he's blacklisted.
Okay. There's no way Trevor Bauer is getting back onto a team. He's been told probably unconditionally, you are not welcome in the MLB. I think, listen, is he a talented pitcher? Yeah. The problem is you got to shut your mouth. Like, you can't be the guy who is going to shake up the scene and then be the villain, right? He, live long enough to, to be the hero, to see yourself become the villain. And that's what happened with him. He couldn't beat him, so he joined them, and then he was still being cocky. You didn't take the high road, dude. You took the low road, and I think that really went against him. I still think he is talented. I just wish he would have grown up a little bit quicker and shut his mouth.
Well, you're still waiting for him to grow up and shut his mouth.
Yeah, so. If you follow his socials and then you watch his YouTube, he's still trying to do the Bauer hour type persona, and that's all well and said and done. But, bro, you don't have a pot to piss in.
Bauer adage.
Yeah. Phillies finished with second best record in the league, but it just feels like they can't run it back with the same starting 8, and they need to mix it up. And that is definitely a concern, right? Like, we all saw what happened against the Mets, and that hurt so bad. I just, and Michael, I do
still
agree.
Think that it's the bullpen that was the major problem in that. Like, yes, you can move. There's guys that you can move and you could improve on. But I'm not going to sit here and say they absolutely must move on from certain guys in the starting 8.
Yeah. That
bullpen is where they need the most focus to improve on, because they just, I don't know if it was the coaching or if it was the talent, that lack of talent out there. It seemed like they were coming in scared and no plan, and they just got rocked in the playoffs. And they didn't have a great season. Like, it wasn't spectacular. Like, nobody was lighting it up from that bullpen. you had flares here and there, but the how many games did we lose late after the starters came out? And outside of Walker,
too
the
many.
starters were pitching solid. Ranger
many.
had a rough go when he towards the All-Star break, and towards the end of the season, he got tired. But the other three were pitching very well all season long, and it was just too many games given up in the bullpen. So I think you could run back with those starting 8 if you change up your bullpen. If you're not going to change up the bullpen, then you need to find a way to get even more offense out of your 8.
So
Well, you're getting called out by Mikey Dunbar here.
I don't listen to the Baldy Locks.
Ah.
I just I don't know what happened to the bullpen in the playoffs. Matt Strom forgot to throw strikes, and when he did throw strikes, they were hit 450 feet the other way.
Hoffman forgot. Strom forgot. They all forgot, right? They legitimately had jelly arms, and
Estevez sucked when he got here. Let's not that was. Listen, I have no problem with Middleton trying to make the team better. Problem was Estevez was good on a bad team, and you get hit in that, and that gets hidden.
Right, you're a sparkle on a pile of dog shit. Doesn't mean you're of value, right? I also happen to think that there was no one given on the team. We've talked about this. No one was given, we shopped around for a role when you never try to settle anyone into a role. And then you're like, we hired the role, and that's what we think is going to be perfect, and that's what we needed. So I think Middleton really, dropped the ball there. But I'll say that it was probably a Dave Dombrowski issue. He should have been shopping better, or at least directing a little bit better on how there should be more positional players. And then, you've got, what do you got? You've got, what's the other hole you've got in the line, in the bullpen that you don't have consistent? Your long relief.
Yeah.
Right. You're mixing it up between two guys, and now one of those guys is gone. So there's obviously, I agree with JV. There's a problem with our bullpen. Chris, you nailed the head with right there. Boom, boom. You're like, I don't even know what happened in the playoffs. And he told you to shut up. You're not getting them.
All right, and we're getting 1 to 2 starters. No, we're not. We're not getting 1 to 2 starters.
Don't need the 1 to 2 starters.
You got the best 4-man rotation right now in baseball.
You're gonna have the 4-man rotation. Taijuan Walker's gonna get traded. There's no way Taijuan Walker can come back to Philadelphia. Let's just get that out there. He's gonna get traded. You're probably gonna have Nick Abel or Andrew Painter as your number 5, and that's fine. You don't need 5 starters going into the playoffs. Now, I think Bohm and I think Rojas are going to get traded. Does Marsh have some trade bait? Yeah, because you can throw in that, hey, he was a Gold Glove finalist. I don't know how, but he was a Gold Glove finalist. Boom. You're not trading Bryson Stott.
I kind of disagree with Castellanos and Schwarber not being up for some sort of consideration. If it's to make a move, I'm not sold that Nick Castellanos and Kyle Schwarber are exactly safe. Now, is it a long shot? Of course, but I do think that they are tradable. I think they are to make a package deal happen. Well, now it's 4 because you're here, buddy. It's now 4. So I don't want you to feel left out. You matter too, regardless of your mom not loving you as a child. You matter. Do you guys still trust Suarez? I think this is a fair enough question. We saw he can't do an extended season. Do we feel that he is a solid 4?
He's probably getting traded. If anybody's getting traded, it's Ranger Suarez.
Kevin, I think you're right about Schwarber having a no trade clause. I do not know about Nick. I do not know if he has a no trade. That would be JV's job. He's on it already. But yeah, I'm almost certain that Schwarber, you are correct about Schwarber. But if the team's looking to move on, I don't know how much. Schwarber.
If anything, Nick has the time served, no trade.
Okay.
He's been in the league long enough that it's like a conditional no trade or something like that. I forget how it works out, but yeah,
I don't know. I don't think Painter is going to be limited. I think we are going to see him get maybe the 5-man kind of push, which would be nice to see. But he's going to get it this year. To not put Andrew Painter in would be obviously ridiculous at this point. And again, us doing the rule 5 on those 3 guys is kind of like, it's nice because now, like I said, looking at Chase is a nice move. I think he could be a good role player in the bullpen. He's added velocity, this guy, which is nice. And like I said, that's what I feel like has been missing in the bullpen is a velocity. You got to get someone coming out there scaring the crap out of you.
Yeah.
Well, boys, this is our inaugural Olde City Sports Network episode. We are in season 1.5. I want everyone to know we will be doing quite a few of our podcasts over the off season, keeping up to date, having these conversations, seeing as things develop. This will probably be our bi-weekly, but we have our new podcast starting. That one is the Northeast Philadelphia podcast, the NEP podcast. That will be starting. What do we have next? Is it starting next week, boys?
Yeah, we can do Thanksgiving
week. All right.
Yeah, let's do it Thanksgiving week. So it will be premiering on OCSN. We will, again, like I said, very happy to be part of the network and looking forward to being kind of getting other host onto the show and seeing, just having some cross stuff going on. I'm very excited for that.
I wonder.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you.
What are we? Are we doing trilogies next week? Because there's only one trilogy.
There's only one trilogy. That's what we'll do. We are doing our Northeast Philly podcast. We are going to focus on the ultimate trilogy, the ultimate movie trilogy, all things. It is, I think some people say, the quintessential movie trilogy. It hasn't been altered and it hasn't been changed like other trilogies have. We are, of course, talking the Back to the Future trilogy.
I thought we were talking about Clerks.
Clerks trilogy. Yeah. Clerks trilogy.
I threw you right off your game.
And I do like Clerks, but it's not the one. Wow, that really threw me off. I was thinking like what was he? I thought you were going to say Godfather, to be honest with you. And
I got
an OG Star Wars.
I got an admission.
Changed so much.
I've never seen Godfather 3.
If we're having moments on the podcast where we're just admitting stuff to each other, and we're like, this is like I know the internet isn't a safe space. I get it. I know we're not safe. I know. I am willing to admit this right here to the 4s of viewers that we currently have. I've seen none of the Godfathers. Not a single one. I started watching the first one, and it legitimately bored me to tears.
I'm in the same boat as Keith.
Yep.
Never sat down and watched all the way through.
He's
I've
so
seen,
mad. He is
Yeah.
so mad. I know
bits
the
and pieces.
lines. I know the pop culture
Yeah.
references. I get all of it. I know I'm going to the mattresses. I could have been a contender. I get it all. I know them all. I'm not stupid. I get that.
Yeah.
I started watching it. I don't love it. To me, the quintessential mobster movie, the one that I would say is amazing on its the one that's amazing. Is that mine? Is that my helmet that I had years ago that I can't find?
No, this is mine that you stole at Breakfast Club the one year. You and Melissa tried to take it from me.
No, dude, that was mine, and that is mine.
That is not yours.
Okay. The quintessential mafia movie is a Bronx Tale. It's Bronx Tale. I would love to tell you that it's the Dark Knight trilogy, which it's not, because I think Christian Bale is not a good Batman. Spider-Man trilogy, the new one is pretty good. The original, not so good on the third one.
Oh, who doesn't like eat? What?
I said the Karate Kid. That is a trilogy because no, the next Karate Kid does not count. That was a new character, and Jackie Chan does not count.
No, you can't ignore Hilary Swank. She was the next Karate Kid, dude. You can't ignore her. Miyagi moved on. So should you. It's a good trilogy. It's a great trilogy. It's not a perfect trilogy. Now, the reason I think we're starting off with Back to the Future is it's already been said that Bob Zemeckis and Gale will not sign off as long as they're alive. A remake, a continuation of the story. What's done is done is done. Now, you can pull apart the time travel aspect of the movie, and that's what we're going to be doing next week. And we can look at it and all the pop culture references it's spawned off. But at the end of the day, it is an untouched trilogy that has stood the last almost 40 years.
1.21 gigawatts. And just imagine now Michael J. Fox saying it. It'd be like, whoa. All right, I'm going to hell.
Boys, this was great. I had a blast. Thank you guys for joining us. If you are listening on the replay, thank you very much. Please comment, subscribe to Olde City Sports Network. And what do you got for us, Chris?
No, just check us out. My podcast, the Philly podcast, will be coming to Olde City Sports as well. Probably Sunday. We're gonna do a pregame show, and then we'll try to come in during halftime. Don't know about the post game because I'm old. So
nappy time.
It's 11:30 at night.
Nappy time.
He fell asleep in the third quarter by that point.
Listen. I'm
LeBron James.
Of course, I'm going to catch a show. I'm very excited to see you guys get Philly. It's phenomenal podcast. If you guys haven't listened to it, Chris just gives zero fucks. I think that's the take you usually have on it, and you're going to say what you're going to say, regardless of whatever the popular spin of the day is going to be. We hate Nick because he's this, and you're going to be like, still the most winningest coach in Philadelphia Eagles history.
I'll say it again, just like I said it to Eric. I think anyone who wants Nick Sirianni fired is stupid or just doesn't know football. Just plain and simple. No other way to do it.
I don't know who Sirianni is, but I don't want Nick Sirianni fired.
Sirianni.
Why not both?
Fired.
Why not both? Why can't they be stupid and not know anything about football?
You can say things. Remind me.
What?
Apparently
JV,
that
what do you,
was too
JV,
close
JV, what do you got for us?
I got nothing.
You want to?
See you guys in a Tuesday.
Good.
And
Hold
see you in
on.
a couple of weeks.
Hold on. Good luck in your championship game on Friday.
Thank you.
I hope you win by 70.
I hope we do because we're not going to stop running.
It'll be nice. It'll be nice to be the rules director next year. No, I'm kidding.
And boom goes the dynamite.
What? Yeah.
What?
There it is.
Thank you once again for joining us. We had a great time. We would like to start doing call-ins eventually, and we will be getting that. Hopefully, I want to do that maybe at the end of the mid-season. I can set that up for us to have call-ins, and then we could take callers on the line. That would be really fun. Once again, I am Keith Darth Pooh Newman. We've got Chris Fuzzy Lahif and Jeremy JV Vroman, and we are the Hall of Fame podcast. We appreciate you ever so much, and we hope you guys enjoy your week.
And one last thing. If there is a huge signing by the Phillies, we will be live that night.
We will go live. Yes. See, we will go live on any type of dropping news. And like I said, we're going to be scheduling these out probably every 2 weeks or so and getting that, in the off season. And then we are weekly during the season. If not, maybe pushing it up the schedule a little bit if we have the need to. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. And we hope you guys have a great night.
Thank you all.